Name a more iconic trio. I'll wait. Remember that meme? But who was the most iconic trio? Was it the Kardashians? Was it Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle? Or how about these guys? Many of you may not have a clue who they are, but these three distinguished gentlemen have impacted your life and what you're doing at this very moment. This is Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim, and they are the founders of YouTube. But where are they now? Well, in this video, we're going to look at what happened to them after they sold YouTube to Google in a mega deal worth over $1.65 billion. We'll look at the weird drama around how one of them was sued by Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, and also look at why one of them seems to have vanished and hasn't been seen in public for years. So firstly, before the video begins, I really want to thank today's sponsor, absolutely no one. The story of YouTube actually begins with another company, PayPal. Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim were all early employees of PayPal, and it was here that they met and came up with the idea of YouTube. According to Jawed Karim, the concept of YouTube was inspired by Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction at the Super Bowl in 2004. He was struggling to find video clips of this moment, something that I believe all men worldwide were desperately trying to do as well. And as a result, he came up with the concept of a site that hosted videos. The three of them would leave PayPal, and in May of 2005, the YouTube beta test site was launched, and within 6 months, the site was racking up around 8 million views per day, and in September of that year, very famous moment, YouTube had its first truly viral video that reached 1 million views. YouTube had now established itself as the internet's leading video service, and as a result, larger companies were now looking to buy YouTube and take it forward. In the end, it would be Google who would win the race, and in 2006, they purchased the site for $1.65 billion.
Hi YouTube, this is Chad and Steve. We're the co-founders of the site, and we just want to say thank you. Today we have some exciting news for you. We've been acquired by Google.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to every one of you guys that have been contributing to YouTube, the community. We wouldn't be anywhere close to where we are without the help of this community. Thanks a lot.
However, where was Jawed Karim in this announcement video? Jawed Karim is perhaps the most well-known of the three founders. He's the face of the first ever public video to go live on YouTube. On the 23rd of April 2005, he uploaded the video titled Me at the Zoo to his own YouTube channel.
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
Jawed, in fact, received the smallest share of the three founders when it came to the sale of YouTube. When Google bought YouTube, that amount was paid in Google stock, and of that total sum, Jawed received around 137,000 Google shares. At that time, they were valued at around $64 million. It was a significantly smaller amount than the payouts that Steve Chen and Chad Hurley received. Well, the reason is that after YouTube got up and running, Jawed left to go to Stanford University, where he pursued a master's degree in computer science. As a result, he never actually had a formal role at YouTube. Instead, he was an informal advisor who didn't actually take a salary or benefits, but Jawed has contributed far more to the world than just YouTube. After leaving YouTube, he went on to earn a master's degree in computer science from Stanford University. Then following this, he founded his own venture capital firm called Y Ventures. Now, Y Ventures went on to become one of the earliest investors in Airbnb in 2009, and they were also early investors in Reddit and Postmates. So Jawed has had a pretty significant impact on many of the services that we all use today. So where exactly is he now? Well, he's been pretty vocal online over the years and very critical of YouTube. More recently, he criticized YouTube's policy to remove the dislike button. But despite his appearances online every so often, there hasn't been any public sightings of Jawed for years. He has no active social media accounts, and there's been no public snapshots from fans or photographers, and very little is known about his personal life or whereabouts. So while Jawed, Karim and Steve Chen were the programmers and coders, Chad Hurley's background was actually in design, and during his time at PayPal, he designed their original logo. But a real key moment came on Valentine's Day in 2005 when Chad would be the one to register the trademark and domain of YouTube.com. He was then appointed as the CEO of YouTube, and his primary responsibility was the tagging and video sharing aspects of the site. When it came to the sale of YouTube, Chad Hurley would be the biggest earner, taking home a reported $345 million. He wouldn't actually leave YouTube immediately after the sale and stayed on as the company's CEO until 2010, when he eventually stepped down but remained as an advisor. So what did he do with all that money? Well, he mainly invested in sports teams. He's the part owner of the NBA's Golden State Warriors, as well as the MLS team Los Angeles Football Club, and he also invested in the English Premier League team Leeds United. However, Chad Hurley's big venture after YouTube was an app called Mixbit, which he founded and launched in 2013 with fellow YouTube founder Steve Chen. The app was a video sharing platform that's videos were limited to 16 seconds, and the aim of the company was to try and take on the others in that market, such as Vine and Instagram. However, the app would land Chad in some drama and controversy that would eventually lead to a lawsuit from Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Chad Hurley had managed to snag an invite to Kim and Kanye's 2013 engagement ceremony, which took place in San Francisco. At the time, he was looking to drum up some support for Mixbit, so from his seat, he decided to film the proposal and ceremony and then uploaded it to Mixbit, where it quickly gained several 100,000 views, despite signing a confidentiality agreement. Kim and Kanye were not happy, as they had a financial stake in the footage and were planning to sell the exclusive rights of their proposal to E! Entertainment. As a result, they took legal action against Hurley, and he was made to pay them a settlement of $440,000. He took it in his stride and joked about it in a tweet by saying, "Breaking, I'm matching the Kanye settlement with an additional $440,000 to my foundation that will reward selfless individuals. Stay tuned." Sadly, despite being Mixbit's most watched video, the app never really took off and failed to gain any traction and ceased operations in 2014. Despite this venture not being particularly successful, many of his other investments have been, and his current net worth is said to be valued at around $700 million. Steve Chen could perhaps be considered the most important of the founders, simply based on the fact that all the company's early costs around the massive amounts of bandwidth they were using were all funded across several of his credit cards. It would also be Chen that would explore his PayPal network, and according to several articles, it was him that secured the early funding for YouTube in 2005. When the company was sold to Google, Chen would receive around 625,000 Google shares, which at the time meant that he took home roughly $326 million. At PayPal, he worked as a software engineer and of course would go on to meet his fellow YouTube co-founders here. However, Chen would become part of a group called the PayPal Mafia. It was the name given to a group of PayPal employees from the early days of the company, many of which went on to found or invest in some of today's most important tech companies: YouTube, Tesla, LinkedIn, Yelp, and Facebook, to name a few. At YouTube, his role was the Chief Technology Officer, but when it came to selling YouTube, Yahoo and Google were the front runners, but Steve Chen didn't want to be seen going into either of their headquarters, as many people would see him and know they were selling the company. So with that in mind, he organized the meetings at Denny's, once with Yahoo and twice with Google. So it's quite incredible to think that a deal worth over $1 billion was discussed at a place like that. While he's not particularly active on social media, He does have an Instagram account and occasionally posts there. It would seem that at some point in 2019, he moved back to his native Taiwan and currently lives there with his wife and 2 children. There's a lot of people out there who may not realize it, but they owe a lot to these guys for bringing YouTube to life. And when you think about it, they not only shaped the internet, but changed the world. They've literally impacted all of our lives, even to this very moment, if you're watching this video. Thanks very much for watching. Most of the visuals you saw in this video are made from my motion graphics templates, which are available to purchase on my website, jfx.co.uk. So if you want to jazz up your videos with new transitions, storytelling assets, or even a new like and subscribe template, then head to the website and we can work together, or hit me up on my socials. Thanks for watching, and as usual, please don't subscribe because I probably won't make one of these videos again.